Socks, everyone's favorite Christmas gift. I love my novelty socks, but you're probably here because you want some different ideas, and that's why I'm making this video. In this gift guide, I'm going to go over a range of ideas that are not socks, and that are not useless pieces of plastic that are just going to end up sitting in a drawer gathering dust somewhere. I'm also going to cover a range of budgets starting at about $10 and going way up to several $100s, and everything that I mention will be linked in the description. Before I start, we are coming up to Black Friday, so if you're looking for deals, head over to my website, revereoverland.com/Black Friday, where I've got a huge list of all of the deals that I found so far, and there are already some sales on there, and I'll also publish the deals that I find as I find them to Overland Deals on Facebook, and I'll put links to both of those in the description too. First on my list are two things that I use more than anything else while I'm out traveling. That's Gaia GPS and Onyx Off-Road. They're both mapping apps for your cell phone. They're both about $30, and they both have slightly different purposes or slightly different strengths. The Onyx app is great for finding individual trails while you're out traveling. In my latest video that came out last week or over the weekend, I used it to find the Four Peaks Trail just outside of Phoenix. And you can see that it has those blue highlighted trails. Those are recommended trails. And when you click on them, it comes up with a trail rating. So you got an overview. This one's easy, had a technical rating of 2 out of 10. Tells you how long it'll take, distance, what it's accessible by. Has an overview as well as some pictures, description of the route, and current conditions. You can use Onyx to create routes on the computer and then have that accessible on your phone. You can also download maps so you can use them offline and you can navigate with Onyx, but I just think that Gaia GPS does all of that a whole lot better. It's much easier to create routes on the Gaia website. You just click in little waypoints and it creates the route on the roads between them, and it's much easier to select maps and download maps, and you get a lot more choice of the maps you can download to Gaia. And I personally find myself using Gaia a lot more than I do Onyx Off-Road, but I think they're both worth it. I use Onyx to find those individual trails, and then I map them out and put together a long distance route into Gaia, and I do my navigating with Gaia. Next up are knives. You can never go wrong with getting knives as a gift for someone. If they already have some, check out the brand they've got and go with that, because a lot of people have their favorites. I personally picked up some Gerber knives a long time ago and have really liked them and stuck with them ever since. And now I have a whole little range of them here. I started off with just a little pocket knife, but switched over to the multi-tool here, which I really like because it's got the little screwdriver end into it with an interchangeable part. That's useful just to have in my pocket, especially with the camera equipment, because sometimes I've got to tighten up the tripod mounts on there. And then of course it has things like the knife, a little file on the side of it, you know, useful stuff. So this is something I keep on hand. I also use this one. I've got like a nice little cooking knife. But if you're just gonna get one, I'd recommend either this, which is the strong arm, or the Gerber Ultimate, which is similar but a little bit cheaper. The reason for that is they're great all-around knives, and something I like is that these ones are in particular very strong, they're very thick at the top, and they're great for splitting wood or getting wood shavings off so you can start a fire. You can hit the top of this with a mallet or another piece of wood to split that wood. Both the strong arm and the Ultimate come with several carrying options, so you can attach it to your belt or to a MOLLE panel, and then the Ultimate also comes with a little fire starter built in. For both of them, if you are going to be using it for splitting wood, I'd recommend getting the plain edge rather than the serrated edge. Of course, if you are having a fire, you need to be careful to put it out completely at the end of the night, and often there are times where there's a fire ban or it's just too windy to safely have a fire, and that's why propane fire pits are really popular. You get some of the warmth and the social focus point of the fire, but you don't have any of the cleanup. You don't have to worry about putting it out. You just turn off the propane, pack it in its bag, and you can go. There's also a lot less risk with using them because you don't have the embers, so you can use it when it's windy, you can use it when there's a fire ban. The downside is that they do take up a lot of space. You got the bag with the actual fire pit in itself, and then you got to take the propane as well. But they end up taking about as much room as firewood would. Talking of cleaning up, one of my favorite things on my vehicle is my TRASHAROO, and they'd make a great gift. A lot of people like to make fun of Overlanders for them, saying it's like a little fashion accessory, but they're actually really, really useful. Not only do I put trash in mine, but I also use it for storage of other wet, muddy, gross things that I don't want inside my vehicle. I use mine to carry things like my folding toilet, muddy shoes. If I am lighting a fire, I can put my firewood in it as well. I often take a bear vault, so when I'm in bear country, the plastic vault is great for storing scented food safely where bears can't get to it. And of course, when I get to camp at night, I make sure I put the bear vault well away from where I'm actually sleeping. One of the first things you should do when you reach the trail is air down. Airing down helps on the technical trails because it gives you more grip on the rocks if you're rock crawling. If you're on sandy trails, it helps you float along the top, but it also helps soften the ride if you're just on a rough road or even a washboard road. This means not only a smoother ride for you, but also a smoother ride for your suspension, which means less wear and tear on your suspension components. And I personally use one of these rapid deflators. This is from Smittybilt, but you can get them from ARB as well. This one you have to go around and you individually air down each tire to whatever air pressure you want it to go to, but it does it very, very quickly. A lot of people have been using the automatic deflators, and I've been very tempted by them as well. There's a couple of different types. The cheaper ones you have to calibrate beforehand, and then you just screw them into each of your tires and it goes to a predetermined tire pressure, but you can get slightly nicer ones where you can custom choose the air pressure you want to go to each time. They're a little more expensive, but I think I'm going to end up getting some of those for myself as a special Christmas gift. And of course, if you're airing down, at the end of the day, you need to air up again. And that's where one of these comes in. This is a compressor. This one's a great budget option. This is the Revere 88P, and this is the one that I've been using for years. It's definitely not the fastest, but it's a good, reliable budget compressor. If you really want to splash out, the ARB twin air compressor really sets the standard. It is a lot faster than this, but it's also a lot more expensive. Another great little gift are lights, and I particularly like headlamps for our camping. I would recommend whatever you end up getting one that is rechargeable, USB rechargeable. That way you don't have to deal with finding batteries or buying batteries while you're out camping. You can just stick it on recharge when it gets low. I've got a couple of different ones here. This one was about $15 from Walmart. It's a decent brightness, and it's got the adjustable brightnesses. I do have two of these, but one of them recently went bad after a couple of years, and we replaced it with this one from Petzl. And this one was like 5 times the price. It was about $70. It is a lot brighter. You probably can't tell because this one actually lights up kind of the same brightness, but over a much wider area, where the cheaper one's slightly more focused. And while it's a lot more expensive, it does last a lot longer on a battery charge. You've got the little battery in there that's also USB rechargeable. And I would imagine this one's gonna outlast that one. One of my favorite additions to my camp lighting setup is this, which is the Devos Light Ranger. I love this thing, and it's probably the most popular thing that I've ever done a video review on, and everyone else that buys it loves it. Basically, it's a light, and it lights up a huge area of camp, and it comes with this stand that goes up to 9 feet high. And that means you don't have to deal with the glare of the light or bugs flying in your face. This does have a ton of other features, but I'll let you go watch the review video to see the whole thing. If the person you're shopping for is over 6 feet tall, they will love the seat jackers from Desert Does It. They're basically small blocks of American-made aluminum that sit under the front of the driver's seat and lean the whole thing backward, giving it a more natural and comfortable driving position. I didn't know these things existed until a couple of months ago, and I wish I'd known about them years ago when they first came out, because it makes it so much more comfortable on those long road trips. You can also add accessories to the front of the seat using the multi-mount panel that attaches to the seat jackers. On there you can put things like a magnet to hold your knives, a holster, or my favorite thing is the fire extinguisher mount, so you can have quick access to your fire extinguisher. Next few suggestions are ones from my wife, and the first of those is my hot shower. She would not come with me if it was not for the hot shower, and let's face it, I really like it too. If you haven't seen it already, I did a DIY shower in a box, which is here. It's basically a Camplux shower mounted in a box with a water pump. I just hook it up to a battery and a water source, and I get myself a hot shower. But if that looks like too much for you, since I did that project, you have another couple of options. Julka is one of them. They've got the hot tap, which was released shortly after I did the video with my shower in a box. And then Camplux, which is actually the company that makes the shower that I used in the box, have just released their own version, which is basically a shower in a bag. It's the same unit, comes in a bag. It's got a little mount that it goes into, and you just hook it up and you can shower. And to go with a shower, it's nice to have a shower tent. You can get those instant pop-up shower tents, but I had one of those and I hated it, and I replaced it with the Lightspeed shower tent, which I actually have here. It is a great shower tent because it's really quick and easy to set up and fold down, has a ton of space in it, but it is enormous. It takes up a lot of space inside the vehicle. This one sells out quickly and sells out often. So if this one sold out, Julka also have their own version, which I'll put a link to, which is very similar to this one. The other thing my wife suggested was this, which is the Patagonia down sweater. She did refuse to tell me how much she spent on it, but she does tell me it's incredibly warm. She loves taking on these trips because if it's out on a cold winter night, it's fantastic. And she doesn't care to take it in the summer either, in case we're staying up in the mountains, because it is so compact. It takes up no room in this vehicle. The crazy thing about this is it actually packs up into its own pocket. This is the pocket that it's in. You basically unzip it and pull the whole thing out. And then fold that in, and that's the pocket on the inside of the zipper. You can see when I hold it up. That's it. All that fit inside that pocket there. They do make these for men and women in a variety of colors. So if you're looking for some warm winter clothing or warm mountain clothing, that's a great choice. If you're looking for a way to document your journey, a GoPro is a great way to do it. These things are so versatile, they can be used in a ton of different situations. A lot of people like to just mount them in their dash as a dash cam, and I've done that too, but they can be put anywhere. You can put these on the outside of the vehicle, showing down the side. You can show the tires going through puddles. You can even mount this underneath. You can set this in the road in front of you, drive over it. Just a ton of different things. And actually, you can even vlog with it. The stabilization on these is fantastic. This camera is great for vlogging because it's got a little built-in screen right on the front here. And if you add the media mod, you get an extra microphone that's on the outside. Helps improve the quality of the sound, reduce the wind noise from the built-in microphones. Now this one's a little bit larger because of the media mod on the outside, but it's worth it for the extra microphone on here because the built-in microphones on the GoPro are not great for vlogging. And it's no cinema camera. It's definitely not going to replace the thing that I'm filming on now, but it's also a lot cheaper than what I'm filming on now. It's a lot tougher, a lot more versatile, and you're going to see a lot more footage from this in my upcoming videos. The final thing on my list is a game changer if you take long trips. If you're out for more than about 5 days, a fridge is well worth having. Sure, a cooler does the job, but the fridge keeps a reliable temperature for extended periods of time without having to buy ice to put in it. You also don't have to deal with soggy food, and the fridge takes up a lot less space. I use the Iceco JP50 and it's been a great fridge. It's probably the best value fridge that you can buy. You can get cheaper ones, but the Iceco has a lot less power draw and keeps a lot more reliable temperature. They also make larger ones that are dual zone, so if you have a larger family with you, or if you want to freeze something, you can get that. You can also get fridges from Dometic and Snowmaster. They're probably the two best known brand names, and Snowmaster especially is really good for hotter weather. All three brands are supposed to have excellent customer service, but thankfully I've not had to deal with it. Hopefully this video helped you with some great ideas for gifts for your loved ones, or if you're like me, gifts for yourself. And if you're still watching, why not consider one of these lovely t-shirts that I'm modeling here. Recently switched over to pure cotton, and I really like them. I've also got some patches. You know, everyone needs patches. You're not an Overlander unless you have patches, or so I'm told. So go check these out on my website. Thanks for watching.